Here's the plan. I know that we can get more accomplished here, I think, but if we can get done and I feel like we're happy and we've had a good conversation and there's some understanding, then we're going to go up to number 10 up there. And what I really like to do would be to coach somebody. So if there's a brave soul that can't get out of the bunker, or chili dips their chips or skulls them across the green, and if you're brave enough to get out there and, hey, I might help you with something that might benefit you for the next 20 years. So that's your payback, all right? So keep that in mind. Okay, so what we're after, of course, is performance, right? And if you give a lesson to somebody and the movement pattern's wrong and they're hitting a slice or they're chunking their chips or whatever, and you direct them and show them what to do to go better, I think it would be stupid to assume that they're going to run off and do it, that they're going to do the type of work to change the motor pattern, that they're going to be physically able to do what you're asking them to do. If they're physically incapable to move, are they really going to change it? No, their body's not going to allow them to do it. And with that in mind, we really need to focus on the coaching part and not just dispensing information. Information is useless if they can't apply it or they don't have the self-discipline to apply it. So I learned a valuable lesson from this man right up here. It's tough to see, but that's in my hometown football coach was a guy by the name of Dr. Tom Osborne. He was a really good coach. And he taught me quite a few things about, pulling the most out of your players. That's essentially what we're trying to do when we're trying to get to an elite level. And one thing he told me, he said, listen, you want your players to go good, you got to create the right culture for high performance. And if you don't do it, if you don't take care to do that, then your players are going to do it for you. Now, think about who your players are. Think about the guy that has come to you, needs help, he thinks about golf all the time, he's obsessed, and you're the fourth teacher he's seen. You show him what to do, he doesn't have the patience or the mindfulness or maybe the body to get it done, so by the time he gets to the fourth hole, he's on to swing B, right? Seventh hole, he's on to swing C, and then next week he's on to his seventh teacher. Is that really the guy that we're going to let create our culture of our business? That's a culture of low performance. That's not winning, right? So I take great care in that of just how I organize my business, how I talk to people. And one thing I know for sure is if you're going to be a coach, you got to have a relationship. You got to dive deep. There's a human element to performance. It's not necessarily about how you move your body. It's about being able to kind of love on each other when the times get tough, encourage them, kick their butt when they need it, right? They got to know that you're in it for them. And it's not about my information, it's about them playing good. That's it. One goal, them playing good. So with that in mind, there are 5 things we can do to get better. Number 1, you can improve your equipment. You've got the wrong grinds, your grooves are worn, the clubs are too upright, whatever. That's easy. We're golf professionals, that's what we do. You can improve your body. The speech you just heard, or the presentation, was amazing. Man, that's what everybody at the club level needs. Now, the good news is as you go up higher levels, the players are paying attention to that. They're paying a lot of money to coaches who have information that are, addressing body deficiencies, imbalances, and whatnot. But it's a factor. One of the things I always talk about, the players that I coach, they all have an eating plan during their round. How many of you are coaching a college player who's got a 36-hole tournament and he's got a Snicker bar and a Coke at the turn? And then he makes a couple of doubles coming down the stretch, he loses his focus, and he just goes, God, that coach sucks. I'm going to get a new coach, right? It's important because we're coaches, we're after performance. You got to touch every area that affects it. All right, now you can improve the mechanics. If there's a mechanical deficiency, it's tough to be skillful. But realize that technique is not skill. Those are completely different. Just having good tech makes it more likely that you could develop skill, but at the end of the day, we still have to develop skill. You can improve your mind, your resiliency, your toughness, your ability to focus on the task at hand, stay in the present, your ability to shut out all the outside influence, right? You gotta learn to perform when the negative is there and learn to ignore the negative. Lock in on the positive. But the low-hanging fruit, the ones that's most important, the ones that people don't really pay attention to, in my opinion, at our level, would be the efficiency and effectiveness of your training. So when I coach, my culture, we write down in a notebook, which I provide, there are your technical keys. Whatever shot, let's say you're addressing a bunker shot. Here are your technical keys. List them out, 4 bullet points. Here are your training keys. This is how we're going to master our technique and develop skill. You got those 2 goals when you train. Does average player, are they mindful enough when they train where they're really locked into, okay, am I mastering my mechanic or am I developing skill? No, they just hit balls. They just pull another one over, hit another one, right? And then we have a mental management plan as well. Technical keys, training plan, mental management plan. What good is it going to be to show this person what to do if they can't put it into an organized process that allows them to get their brain ready to go play? And over it, they're breathing through their chest, they're peeing down their leg, they can't, you know, they're so anxious they can't play. Well, information is useless at that point. So there's got to be a mental management plan. All right. In every phase of life, I'm going to really lower my voice now, there's accountability. Think about business. Is there follow-up procedures? Do you keep track of whether you're making money or losing money? You know, my students, I demand accountability, and I set up, okay, listen, we're going to play, here's your practice plan, you're going to follow it, and you're going to play these 6 games twice a week, and I want you to text me your score. What happens if they don't text me their score? Well, I'm going to find a student that will actually do the work. I wrote a book, and in it I showed a picture of IK Kim doing speed sets off her knees. I said good players, one of the big differences, elite players I should say, are willing to do what's required to be elite. So if you can't pay attention to your intention, go slow and play these games and text me your score, then you don't really want to be elite. Your dreams are outliving your work ethic, right? You got to do the work. So then I see these scores, and I say, okay, week 3, I want you to send me a down the line video, progress report, and then we're going to see each other on week 5. Well, that sounds like a plan to me. That's an opportunity. So they come to you for an hour. Can you really touch that person's life enough in an hour? If they go away for you for 200 hours? So when you design a game and they have to play it and report back in, that allows you to touch that person and affect them when they're not with you, right? All right. So in my culture, we have a few sayings that we say a lot. Number 1, nunc sepi is Latin for to begin again today, essentially. Today, I begin again today. I shoot 90. Hey, it's okay. Begin again today. Start over. I shoot 62. Can't rest on that, buddy. We're doing our work. Begin again. We're going to begin again today. I always tell people we're 30 days ahead. Let's leave it to the insecure person to run out and get some practice in before their tournament. We don't have to do that. We're 30 days ahead. The work we did to prepare for this was last month, right? Hard work is hard. If you got to be willing to make mistakes. Greatest coach of all time, John Wooden. You know, got to make. If you're not making mistakes, you're not doing anything, right? You got to be willing to make mistakes, learn from it. Maybe perhaps intrinsically, just sensing that that's the wrong thing. Do it again, not get anything out of it. Do it again, not get anything out of it. And all of a sudden you have this aha moment, this breakthrough moment. That's hard work is hard. You gotta be willing to beat your head against a wall and just keep going. Be tougher than your problems. A lot of times I'll tell my students, right? What if we took a lesson, we wrote a plan down, we trained hard, they went out and shot 68? That'd be hard work is easy. Everybody'd be doing it, right? But hard work is hard. That creates a mindset of your students like, you know what? This is the plan, we're going to be tough. All right, so I hope you can see that creating an elite short game is not how you fold your right elbow necessarily. It's about how you go about your business. Now we're going to talk about how you fold your right elbow, okay? So I'm going to go through all this stuff, this technical stuff. Don't confuse that with what I do when I'm with a student. We're coaches, we're having a discussion. I had a pro come up to me the other day and go, hey, I was with IK Kim down at TPI, and she goes, hey, can I come watch? I go, yeah, come on, but you're going to be disappointed. It's like, what do you mean? I says, well, I'm going to be with her for 2 hours, and I might tell her 2 things, max. Hopefully they're really poignant things, good things that might influence her life for the next 2 decades and help her perform at a high level, but good coaches don't say a lot. So if you're the type of coach, if you don't mind me being kind of mean, which I can be, if you're the type of coach who feels the need to say a comment after every shot, then you're not doing a very good job. That's not what good coaching is. All right. Let's talk about number one pitfall with players. And I'm going to have you raise your hand if you can find yourself in this mode. And it's really our fault if our players are this way. So I've written down my technical plan. I got 4 bullet points. I have a training plan. If I'm not performing well in the bunker, what am I going to do? I'm going to check back my 4 points. I'm going to ask myself, which one of my 4 things am I not doing? What does the typical player do? Well, that's not working. I need to create number 5. So maybe if I open my stance up a little bit, I'll stop hitting those balls to the right. And then, gosh, that ball's going pretty low. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll weaken my right hand grip. And then they're going to get a different wedge. And then they're going to close their stance. And then they're going to get closer to it. And then at some point when all that doesn't work, they're lost and they are on the hamster wheel of stuff, the never-ending hamster wheel of technique. Anybody in the room on the hamster wheel? Only one person, there should be like 80 hands up. Hamster wheel, yep, that's me. That's not having a plan. It doesn't have to be complicated. Matter of fact, simpler is better, but you have to have foundational things you believe in that are non-negotiable. This is what we do, and when I'm off, this is what I'm going to check. Because otherwise, you risk being on the hamster wheel. And the hamster wheel is not a good place to pay your rent from. All right, so this is where it starts for me. It's tough to see for y'all. I'm sorry about this, but this is Tom Pernice, my first professional student 24 years ago. 10-yard shot, 2 frames after impact, and then a guy that was on the mini tour that came to me with the yips, with so-called chipping yips, okay? Look at the launch of the golf ball. So Tom Pernice is getting his angles out, right? So for you, he's literally getting taller, the angles are coming out. I call that using the bounce of the club or allowing the club to release. The other guy's little radius between the club head and his lead arm are going this way. And as he shortens that radius, he can't get the club to the ground, so he sculls it across the green, and then as he dives down to go get it, he gets this little knee buckle. So that's where we start. Now why? Because if I can easily hit a high soft shot with spin, I think having a soft touch around the greens is an asset, right? Better than the little screamers. It creates versatility because if I want to hit a low shot, the lost art of wedge play would be to get your 8-iron and use the same technique. And that would go low. So I have an easy way to hit a low shot and I have an easy way to hit a high shot. If the guy on the left, if low is all you can go, how do you hit it high, right? All right. And also there's more forgiveness when you're using the bounce of the club. Tom Pernice occasionally gets a lie, doesn't like you, literally just hit behind it on purpose. He'll just release the club head and hit a 1/4 inch behind it, and he just drop kicks it up by the hole. Everybody claps. Okay, so that's why we do what we do, and everything disseminates from this point forward. And I do realize that there are lots of ways to do this, and there are a ton of good players performing amazingly, doing other things. I'm not looking for conversions or debate. What I'm just saying is, hey, this is how I see things. It seems to be working with some of my players. Take what you can from it and forget the stuff you don't like, okay? A lot of ways to do it. All right. For those of you, it's a tough look at that slide. But essentially, I want to create a low point, or what I call a steep, in my setup. So I want narrow stance turned open, soft left arm around the corner. Yeah, I want it folded. I want some forward shaft lean on a stock shot, and I want the face to match the shaft. Because in the backswing in a minute, I'm going to go up the plane, toe up, or the face open. And think of it this way, you know, if the leading edge of the club lines up with the shaft, a lot of people would say that's square and that that's closed and that's open. If I lean the shaft forward at impact and the face stays pointing at the pin, isn't that closed or hooded? Yeah, it's dead hooded. Look good to you? That's dead hooded. So when the shaft leans 5 degrees, guess what the face does? That's not open. That's square to the shaft. And if I keep it square to the shaft and I don't early rotate my body, allow my trail arm to fold, the club will work up and around, toe up. My right arm stays straight like it might in a full swing. The only thing I'm going to be able to do is kind of back set my trail wrist, and I'm going to go under and shut. And I would just suggest to you that as a golf professional that gets 6 people a week that come to him with the chipping yips, that 6 of those people are under and shut. You can play from above. You can be Jose Maria Lothabel or Jim Furyk. You can play under and open. But if you are under and shut, you have problems. And I'll explain why later, hopefully. Third pillar is that there is a sequence. And I don't want to get too involved in this. Usually my brain fuzzes over when I see technology, but it's important because it can show so many important things that are tough to discern with the eye. So there are usually 4 sequences you see on tour. On the short game, this would be like a typical kinematic sequence of a full swing. And this is a pattern that you see of some elite performers. Once again, you see 4, but the one on the left happens to look similar for Corey Pavin, Tom Pernice, Luke Donald, Steve Stricker. Anybody want to kind of have that touch around the green? So I feel, having seen the data, that there is a optimal sequence. And there are 2 important things I want you to know about that. Number 1, as you go up the plane and things come to a rest, you don't turn your body first like you might in a full swing. The lead arm doesn't go faster than the shaft or the club and down cock or down load like you might in a full swing, but it comes up, it's at rest, and even though the club and the left arm kind of start at the same time, the club is actually going a little faster, so these angles are coming out. And then when the angles come out, you get that Tom Pernice impact, and you have a high loft, soft touch, ton of spin, and a lot of forgiveness. That's where I think that sequence is important. Now, this is where I think golf professionals have got it wrong forever. So we've got this client, and they just flick at it, and they skull it across the green. So as you look at this kinematic sequence, those of you who know how to read 3D AMM, the peak speed or velocity of the lead arm and the chest, if that's the top of the swing and that's impact, peak speed's where? Help me out, somebody. Is it moving up, it's accelerating, is it moving down towards the horizontal line, it's decelerating? Past impact, thanks Sean. Saving me, appreciate that. So what is this? Where's the lead arm accelerating, decelerating relative to impact in this? The lead arm starts decelerating way too early. The chest is decelerating. And they go, oh, you're flipping your wrist. Keep your hands ahead. Now, I might keep the left arm moving that way, and to some extent the chest, but I've completely ruined the way the club is designed, and I've screwed up this radius of my circle, so to speak, right? So now I gotta like dive down at it. So the correction for this little skull, what if I release it as hard as I want, but I turn my chest and move my arms? Now I look like Luke Donald. That's okay, right? It's not the release that's the problem. If you take one thing from me that day, that would be you'd help a lot of people with that. Fourth pillar-like thing everybody does that I teach, non-negotiable, is that if I measure the release and you're doing it correctly, if I put a line on the shaft 2 to 3 inches in front and pause it just after impact, those shafts line up. Happened with Seve Ballesteros, Raymond Floyd, all the people that I studied to try and figure out what the heck, why I didn't understand what was going on. That's what happened. So you do that. If the shaft is leaning back, good chance the lead arm and chest has decelerated too soon. If it's going like this way, good chance they might be under and shut and they're trying to find a way to move the low point forward.
Sam, can you say that
James,
one more
yeah.
time? You draw a line.
So this first line is set up, and then I just put a parallel line right in front of it, like 2 inches in front, and that's impact. See how they match?
Yeah, thank you.
That's an easy way to test that on a video camera. Last pillar-like thing, it's really important that the energy flows the direction you're trying to hit the ball. So if I was throwing a ball, that way. Not that way. Fair enough? You can feel that through your feet. Raymond Floyd said he felt it through his knees. You can check the head movement. The head will go forward and up. You don't keep your head still when you chip. That's wrong. Quit saying that. They've been doing this forever. There's a picture of the hawk. Look at that picture. Where's the center of pressure? Lower body is stable, upper body is rotated over the top of it. Look at his lead arm, soft, relaxed, folded, right? I told people, like, I didn't invent this, I just was observant. Watch Tom Pernice, hopefully, there it goes. Now, hopefully you can see this because it's a really special, he's got a special gift around the greens. Up the plane, toe up, elbows folding. I call it the elbow circle. Kinematic sequence, the club goes first. There goes the chest supporting. It's releasing as hard as he wants. It doesn't matter. You're not going to hit behind it. See he's open. Oh, I'm over there. Watch his head. Hold on. That was me. Watch his head. Reverse pivot. Lead shoulder goes down, not across your body. So you get a real reverse pivot. Center pressure's moving left. Watch how that club bottoms out just right in front of the line on the deal. Is that playing? Ah. Let's see. It should play. Let me there it goes. All right. Head moves forward. There's that sequence we talked about. Club releases, supporting with the chest. One of the keys to that sequence is, as you see it, as you're looking at it, you'll go, oh, that guy's got impeccable rhythm. Sequence and rhythm are very close to the same thing in short game. All right, face on, look at the left elbow. Remember the picture of Ben Hogan? Should I keep that left arm straight? No, just relax. Be 10 years old again and just let that thing swing and let it go where it wants to go. That lead arm will fold. It'll go around the corner, around your side. Now the ball's gone, so obviously it doesn't have that much effect, except for it affects your rhythm, which affects your touch, which affects everything. I want to have tension. All right, I always talk to people, it's like, I got all my guys doing those 5 things, but they don't look anything alike. Charlie Wee looks nothing like Tom Pernice. Right? Duffy Waldorf looks different than those guys. Charlie Hoffman doesn't look like that. But they're all doing the same 5 things. Steve Stricker's not one of the players that I teach. He looks like he has no wrist hinge in his swing, right? It goes up the plane, he's set up open. Oh, it should be playing again. Oh, there we go. more or less toe up through the hands. It's a little bump and run into the fringe. He's not hitting a high shot. Perfect sequencing. There goes the chest. Energy's flowing to the pin. How much you hinge your wrist, that's a style choice. That's not a foundational element in my book. There's a comfort level for each player. All right, here's where we get to the nitty gritty. So that's just how I see things. That's how I see a finesse swing. That's what I go to battle with. What is dysfunction? You got a guy that sculls it or a girl that sculls it across the green, chili dips it. There is a balance in elements that affect the angle of attack. If I set up open, that steepens the angle of attack. If I set up behind the ball and close, that would shallow it. Follow me? If I took it inside, would that shallow the angle of attack or steepen it? Shallow it. Outside would steepen it. One of the things I noticed when I was looking at Raymond Floyd, especially on video, is that he's got like two competing airs. Really open, so it's a steepener. Hands lift, club's a little underneath. That's a little bit of a shallower, and it's like the world's greatest chipper. You don't have to have perfect technique to go good. You just got to have balance. You got to function. So dysfunction is an imbalance. And I gave those 5 variables to you, or what I would call pillars. And there is balance. There's a neutral, which is on plane, and then there's the release and the kinematic sequence, which are shallowers, and energy of the pin, and your setup or steeps. And if you have that balance, you're going to be fine. So I want to show you a couple very simple ones. These are not complex, but I want to see how you assess somebody. So this is like the world's nicest guy. That's Joey Sindelar. He came to me, thought he had the yips, and just, what's that backswing? Is that a steep mistake or a shallow mistake relative to being on plane? Shallow, right. All right, now I'm going to have to play this next side for you. Where is his head relative to the ball? Where is it? Somebody? Behind it. Is that a steepener or a shallower? Shallow. Okay. Now watch his head as I play this. So he's set up behind it. That's shallow. He has that little unique motor pattern in the backswing. That's a shallow. Watch his head. Remember, energy goes to the pin. So there's his little reverse pivot. Where's it go? Which way? Is that a steepener or a shallower? Shallower. Guess what? Shallow setup, shallow delivery, backing up. Hey, Joey, good news, you don't have the yips, you're too shallow. So I just start introducing steeps until he can go. The first thing we do is move the ball more in the middle of his stance and feel like his nose is in front of the ball. That steepened it. I put the sun at his back so he could see his shadow. I said, make a few swings watching your shadow. Tell me what happens. And he sees this thing go like this. He goes, oh my God, I had no idea I did that. I said, okay, just do it again. All right, now what are you feeling? He goes, well, I feel this little thing in my left foot. That's what you do, left foot. You feel that in your left foot in the finish. Did I have to do anything here? Would you do something? He's been doing that since he's 7 years old. Why would you change that if you didn't have to? Talk about having to reorganize his whole existence, right? You want to have the smallest footprint you can, you know what I'm saying? No, I didn't have to touch that because you start hitting good shots. It's like, whew, good, don't have to address the backswing. I would pick something else. I would get him more open or do something than mess with the backswing. All right, so essentially I have an assessment procedure. I interview the student. Hey, I'm sculling shots. I think I have the yips. Look at his equipment. I go through my culture. This is the way we do things here. I do a physical screen, see what kind of movement dysfunction he has. And then I take him out and watch him hit a few shots and assess those steeps and shallows. All right, I also got to know, can he judge his lie? Can he pick the right landing spot? Those are skills that you develop, right? And what's his mental game like? How does he talk to himself? All those things influence performance. All right, let me give you another one. This one, we just ate. Be careful. Hopefully you can see that. What do you think of that transition? Yeah, huge down cock. The lead arms are moving way faster in the club. Watch it. Ew. All right. So he's got the ball back. He's got that huge down cock. He's too steep. He hits low bullets and he hits the ground way too hard, right? So move the ball forward. That would be a shallower. Took some of that shaft lean out. Did some right arm only drills to try and get him to sequence a little bit better. And in 5 minutes, he's brushing the grass. Ball's launching up in the air. He doesn't have to use his 60 every time he plays. He can go hit a pitching wedge now and get it on the green and have a soft touch with it. So that's just understanding steeps and shallows, okay? All right. Like I said, they've been doing this forever, right? I didn't make it up. Who is that? Any historians out there? The great Bobby Jones. All right. You know that poor kid hitting behind the ball, hitting the ground too hard, down cocking that thing? Well, how do you think he learned to keep his, oh, you're hitting behind the ball, keep your hands ahead. Keep your hands ahead. That's just such bad coaching, I can't tell you. Watch Bobby. I got a couple comments about this. Watch the greatest, maybe, I think, greatest. What do you think of that technique? Well, I'll tell you one. In his setup, I love the soft left arm around the corner. I love the open stance. I love the level shoulders, and he's just kind of like flicking that thing up there, right? Now, the easiest way to coach somebody, in my opinion, would be nature. Nature will do it. You don't have to nurture them if you can figure out a way to let nature do its thing. What do you think Bobby Jones is chipping with there? He's got a niblick, which is a 9-iron, essentially. He's using a niblick. If you're really fancy back in those days, you had a lofter, which is a gap wedge, okay? If you had to have a soft touch, and I gave you a 9-iron, and maybe the green's up here, and you needed to pop that ball up and get it to stop, how would you do it? Would you keep your hands ahead and drop your legs? No, you would not. You would do it like Bobby Jones did. This is what golfers looked like before we got 60-degree wedges and before coaches, in my opinion, started ruining them because they didn't understand all the variables that affected contact. So you got a 10-year-old kid. He's a hotshot kid. You give him a lob wedge for his birthday. Doing him a favor? Man, might as well just be giving him some cocaine. Because that's the only club he's going to use the rest of his life, lob wedge. And if he sees a low shot, if he visualizes a low shot and pulls out a lob wedge, what's he going to do? What's nature going to do? And then when he gets a little older and he recognizes that there's such a thing as called embarrassment and judgment, then he's just going to have anxiety galore. And then he's going to get on the hamster wheel. That's what happens. Love that photo of Bobby Jones. I wish I could get a clearer video of it. Okay, so here's IK. And one of the things I like to do in my block practice, which is one after the other in a learning environment, would be to create a baseline, to allow her to find her setup, to get the feedback on whether the plane is right or whatever. So we'll go through a progression of drills. Do this drill first, do this one second. And typically, like the third drill will be hit 5 good shots on your T-square. So she's just got 2 alignment clubs, and if we have time to go up and hit some, we're going to do this. Put an alignment stick, allow her to orient her setup. Without a reference, it's really tough to be consistent. We're constantly changing. We're malleable. How do I become the master of consistency unless I'm really the master of adaptability? I'm changing daily. I need to find a way to create the feel for the day, which is, oh, wow, that feels like my right hip is this way. I don't know what didn't feel like that way yesterday. It's because I've changed. The sticks haven't changed. The plane's the plane. It doesn't change. But we're changing all the time. So you got to find a way to find home base, and then I think it's an easy way to adapt for different lies and whatnot. Okay. So we're going to breeze through this because I do want to try and get over to the other, and I want to talk about bunker play yet. So I teach this guy, player A, Joe comes over, and I teach him this great technique. He goes over, and he's got the lie on the left on the first hole. He chili dips it. The next one, the second hole, he's got the other one. He goes underneath it and goes halfway. If I don't teach that player how to recognize and adapt their setup and swing for differing lies, then I've failed. So if you're coaching a student and you just hit perfect flat lies and then send them away and don't talk about how to deal with stuff, then you've done a poor job. I think we're all doing that. I think we're better than that. Oh, look at the master here. It's Tom Pernice. I call it creating angle. Nasty Poana. Hopefully that's playing. It's not playing. I want to play it. So he's choked down on the club. Why? Steepen it or shallow it? Widened out, lean left, steepened it. That ball's sitting down in the rough. Create the angle, and then he can still swing shallow at the bottom or release the club, have plenty of speed, and hit that ball solid even though it's sitting down. So when the ball's sitting down, you create angle, and you can do that through ball position or through that setup. All right. I don't want you to worry about this. Don't write it down. Don't take a picture. What this is a training plan for one of my players. And what I want you to take from this slide is, in my culture, it's written down. I give him a notebook. We write it down. We practice smart. It's committed to. And then we're going to set up a way for us to stay in contact when he's not in front of me so that we make sure we're staying on task. All right? I have a menu of games that he chooses. Say, here's the menu of games. You go block practice, random practice, play these games, record it in your journal, record it in your notebook. If you have a skill deficiency, I can design a game to account for it. There's tricks to designing a good game, but game playing is way more fun than you stand out there working on your mechanics, so I know that. Okay, we're doing good on time. I want to go through bunker play, and then we'll go up and we'll have a little coaching thing up there. Before I do, any questions on the finesse? Yes, sir.
When you have it sitting down, I understand creating more angle with your body action and whatnot. Are you keeping the release the same in terms of the way the arms?
Yes. So the question was, when the ball's sitting down, I understand creating angle, but you still release the club. Always. So if the shaft starts, because I've created angle, I put the ball back, and there's a 20-degree shaft lean. Remember that parallel line right in front of it? Up, down, right back to that same spot, right around. A lot of people make the mistake. They think they hit low shots this way and high shots that way, and the reality is all you got to do is change your setup. Ball comes forward, face opens, high. Put the ball back, more shaft lean. Remember, as you lean the shaft, the face opens more. It's going to go low. Now, will it go as low as your old low? It won't, but there is such a thing as a 9-iron. Okay? Good question. Yes?
What do you feel about bounce of clubs? Do you have a certain,
Yeah, the bounce angles are important. You fit it for your home trajectory or your home conditions. So if you're in the Northeast and it's soft, typically more bounce. You also, this might be firm. You might get one that has a little less bounce on it. I also like more bounce in the sand wedge and less bounce in the lob wedge. And there's a very smart reason for that. At least I think I'm smart. Okay, is that, pat myself on the back, I guess. That sounded wrong. Is that in soft sand conditions or soft turf conditions, does the ball come out fast or slow? Slow. I usually need more club to get it there, right? Soft sand, do I need more bounce or less bounce? More. I get a twofer. I got my sand wedge instead of my lob wedge. This ball's easier to go further, and I got more bounce on it. Now you go to Hilton Head, it's firm sand, firm turf, tight. Well, I got a lob wedge with not a lot of bounce on it and more loft because it's going to come out fast. So I have a way to adapt to the environment if I have that set configuration. Last one.
Just going back to that, giving a kid a sand wedge or a lob wedge.
Yeah.
So would you say that the practice of adding loft, giving them a pitching wedge and having them add loft in their swing is healthier?
Favorite drill. Can't hit a bunker shot. Okay, here's your deal. Here's your 7-iron. I want you to stay here until you can hit it over this lip and keep it short of that pin. I'll come back in 20 minutes. I'll come back 20 minutes later, the kid's like, sits the Sevi Ballesteros over there, right? Now you give him a lob wedge and he can hit straight up in the air. So if I was going to give a lob wedge to a kid, I said, okay, you can use that occasionally, but only when you see really high, and then after you hit 10 lob shots with your 7-iron. All right. All right, so here's Charlie Wee. I want to talk about bunker keys, and we'll go over there and we'll screw in the bunker and off the grass, hopefully. It's like he's doing a one-legged squat in that left thigh. That's a steepener because the release, super shallow, because I want that face to go pointing to the sky so I get some height, some speed, some spin, that high spinning shot. So setup's important. The number one mistake in setup is to line up left. Who thinks you should line up left in the sand? That's a trick question because I don't think you should, but I'm sure some of you think you should, but you're not going to release it how I feel like you should if you line up left. Obviously you need to expose the loft and the bounce, create stability, so most players just sit wide, turn their toes out, which makes it hard to rotate. So that club can go on by, and if it goes on by, then the face looks like that, and I can hit it up with some spin. So, look at Charlie. This is Charlie Wee. He's supposed to be retired, but he's playing this week in Mississippi. I started coaching him 23 years ago. So, toes are out, lower body stability. Hips aren't rotating much. They're stable so the arms and chest can go. It's like he's doing a one-legged squat in the finish. The hand path might be neutral, but the head path of the club is not. The head of the club is going to come down outside his hands, and since it's going outside his hands and passing his body, where's the exit going to go? Left. Has to go left. That's just your body going, I can't go to the right if that's where I'm going. So where the head of the club comes down relative to the hands and the downswing is critical. I want it more open than 90 degrees, if that's 90, and outside the hands. Now, if you do that, then even though your foot alignment, in this case, would be square, the splash mark is certainly not square. The splash mark is about 20 degrees left. Your splash mark should be left of your feet. If you line up left and release it correctly, the ball's going left. So then you're going to have to drag the handle across, and you can learn to hit it that way, but now your balls are going to spin left to right. Okay? All right, so I call it the sickening six. I'm going to show you two of them. Number one, aligning way left. This gentleman, it's a mini tour player, he's going at the flag here. He's lining 40 degrees to the left. Look at the handle just past impact in the club head. And then I don't teach Kevin Chappell anymore, but I did for like 12 years. And phenomenal bunker player. And I'm going to play this video, and I'm going to try and stop it at the same, well, I don't have to try. I'm going to cut it off to stop at the same place. See, compare those angles. There's the stability. What's the height difference? What's the speed difference? What's the spin difference? What's the interaction of the club to the turf difference? I mean, I don't know if you can see, but that's a huge hang on, and that thing's just gone completely on by. Okay, and then obviously he would go up. So aligning left leads to a hang on, creates kind of low, chunky shots. This guy came to me and said, I'm really good when I have a 25-yard bunker shot, but if I'm short-sighted and I got a 6-yarder, I can't play. So he also hated firm sand conditions. So how would I fix that? Get this, let nature take its course here. Sit this guy on a din caddy, said swing. If the club's passing, a stable lower body, that club is going to do your arm movements, where the head of the club goes, is all going to take care of itself. It's my favorite way to coach. If I have to talk to him about wrist angles and elbow and all that, or I do go, hey buddy, sit on the den caddy and hit me 5 shots. What does that feel like? Oh, that feels like that. Okay, do that. You don't have to explain everything. It's like, okay, your new bunker swing is a den caddy swing. Go for it. And that to me is what good coaching is, like keeping it super simple in a player's mind, because at the end of the day, they got to do it when the heat's on, right? I got one thought. It's a den caddy swing. Hopefully that played again, did it? All right. Oh, I think I flipped too far. This is going to be really tough to see. This girl on the left, she's swinging. I'm going to play it for you. She's at the top, and she's just going like this. And she's going to shank it, and she's going to skull it, and she's going to hit 6 inches behind the ball. So watch for that, because it's going to go by quick. It's not slow motion. All right, so now I said, okay, let me show you. Let's create some angle. Let's create some angle, neutral hand path, and then the club pops outside. Keep that squat. Watch it one more time. Create some angle, let it go. And then the after, if you can, goes by quick. All right, so in short game, specifically bunker and finesse wedge plays, you got to be steep early so you can be shallow late. If you're the opposite, shallow early, you got to be steep late, and it's no good. It's actually kind of interesting because I think it's opposite of full swing, even though you see everything. I sure like full swing shallow early and steep late as opposed to the other way around, right? I think short game and full swing are almost diametrically opposed to each other, which makes it really tough to be great at both. All right, 2 more slides and we're going to go up. It'll be a good time. We'll fuss with either a chip or a bunker. Here's the most important thing. How a student learns, a lot of times it's not what you think it is. Have you ever thought about, I'm dispensing information, but is there learning going on? This is Charlie Hoffman at the range at Riviera with virtual reality glasses on, listening to some audio, visualizing his footwork. That to me is learning. Are your students really learning? Or are you just, listening to you and learning, I don't think those are the same. So, last slide here. So, I'm going to read this for you if you can't see it. I have a system. It's a way for me to understand function. It's got 5 foundational things that I don't negotiate on. Everything else is negotiable. But tie the butt of the club to my belly button, and then I go 1 and 2. The and is a rhythm piece. 1 and 2. All right? Rotate the face with the left arm, and then hit the bottom shaft, which is that. Normal tuck would be like normal backswing. Okay, tuck the wrist in, and then get the energy flow into the pin. Fold the elbow, and then turn the chest, or support with the chest. The toe beats the heel back. The toe beats the heel, and then I got to get the club coming down in front of my body rotation instead of turning out in front of it. Okay, does that sound like anything I taught you today? The trick question. The answer is yes. There are 5 of the players that I coach. If you ask them, hey, what did Sieck teach you? They go, hey, fold the elbow, support with the chest. And then Tom Pernice goes, well, he didn't teach me that. He told me to do this and do that, right? So what you need to understand in learning is you understand what you want from the ball, you understand what you want from the club, and then you kind of nudge them along nature and nurture until they're doing it. And when they do it, you go, okay, that's it. What was that? And then they'll tell you what they're doing. Oh, that's normal. Then I kind of tuck my wrist and then I go this way. I was like, bingo, that's what I'm teaching you. You nailed it. That's exactly what I teach. So you can't put your words into there's a saying, never put a coach's head on a player's body. Get them to do it and then ask them what it is and say, okay, we're going to master that. Let's go write it down, right? Too many of us are worried about our own terminology, our own method, our own you do it my way type of thing. That's not what a high performance coach does. They let them be them within a framework that they know is going to perform. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We've got just a few minutes left, like 10 minutes. We're going to go up there. I'm going to get my volunteer, and we'll coach up. Then we're going to come right back down about 10 minutes from now. All right, so Hang in there. It's like we got one shot left on the 18th hole, right? Hang in there, and we'll go right up there. Are we hot? Are we running? Okay. So I got Brian here. Oh, Brian, what's your normal miss?
My normal miss right now is a little, it's been thin.
Okay,
So
so
I've been a little shallow.
miss
like
is
you say.
thin. Can we turn that down just a little, maybe?
I had a back injury about 6 years ago,
Okay.
so that's kind of when it started.
All right. So steeps and shallows. Turn it down just a little, please. Steeps and shallows right here on the front. Okay. First spin. Go right ahead. You got a landing spot?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Probably about 3-4 feet on.
And a little to the left?
Yeah.
I don't know whether to talk loud or go slow. Just turn it off. I'll talk loud. All right. Go for it. Okay. No, it's good. Let's talk that through. Plane. Inside. Where 99% of the people really struggle go? Inside. How was the setup? So his head was started behind. Is that a shallow? Ah, he's too shallow. So why did the ball go to the right? Just be mindful. Think about it. Why did the ball go to the right?
Because I got stuck behind me and I threw the club out to the right.
The path.
Yeah.
The path.
Yeah.
How about we do it the easy way? And so I don't have to talk. I'm almost out. Usually in a lesson, I hardly say a word. Here you go. 9-iron. I want you to fly it on the green and leave it short of the pin. How would you do it? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Keep going. Keep thinking. How would you do it? Keep coming. And then it would probably be like this.
Okay.
Oh, no. Keep hold of it.
All right.
Right. And how about a little less tension?
Yeah, that's
All right.
That's where I'm at.
Be right here. Now,
Okay.
the club would have to go, relax your body. Club would have to go that way, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And it's going to go a lot slower than that. And I don't know if I would be moving that right knee much. Try it one more time. Ready? All right. Open that face. Come on. Open it. Open it. Open it. Really slow. Out. Good. Let's do it one more time. One more time. We're just learning a motor pattern. Watch out on the right now. Good. Okay, now, what we're going to do
Too much tension.
is we're going to set up better, and we're going to feel that. Fair enough? Set up better, maybe feel like half of that. So here's the setup rule. Straddle that stick, narrow stance. You're going to feel like, don't move, keep hold of the club. You're going to feel like your nose is right here.
Okay.
So your nose is there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you remember what that cut felt like?
Yeah.
No, tension. That way. All right, ready? Nose in front. 9-iron slice. Nose in front with a 9-iron slice. Good. Now, if we could get the face more open, that would have been pretty good. Now, not that the sequence wasn't perfect. There's still residue from that little knee drive. Now, why drive the knees? He's trying to steepen the angle because if he doesn't, he's going to hit this far behind the ball.
Yeah.
So this is a self-defense mechanism. It's like, oh my gosh. All right, how about we go right arm only? Yep, right arm only. No, just swing. What are your legs? Hold your finish. What are your legs doing? One more time. Right arm only. Hold your finish. Put your left hand on. Nope, goes on the, there you go. Hey, you look like Ben Hogan, don't you? Does that look like Ben Hogan? Oh, right arm, no, right arm only. Put it on. What'd your legs do?
Nothing.
What they really do is they provide balance and aid in rhythm. They create stability so the arms and club can go, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's be mindful, go slow. Last one. Ready? Nose is where?
Forward.
Not leaning that way though, just kind of feeling it over there. Little bit of a fade mentality. That's open enough. Quiet legs, right arm swing, right arm feel. Try it again. Yes, soft and around the corner, because if his left arm is straight, there's a very good chance he's going to be over here, especially if he's right eye dominant. Right arm swing, I got you, just a right arm feel, a little fade. Good. Now, he's not diving his legs, but he's not getting the angles out either. He can't get down to the ball, right? Go ahead and set up. This time I want you to feel.
Seems like they're restricted.
You want them to be restricted until kind of after impact a little bit. Go ahead and set up. That's what I want you to try and do this time. Go ahead and sit up.
All right.
Up, relax. I want you to feel like you're elongating everything there as you're hitting this little
And
fade.
stand up.
I don't care if you stand up, that's fine. More than anything, elongate the angles. Ready? Little fade, elongate the angles. Do it without a ball. Do it without a ball. Do it without a ball.
James, would you ever give someone the draw command?
Oh, sure. If they're too steep, if they're outside, yeah. All right, we're going to stay here. We're
My
going to
head is in my
we're going to be tougher than our
Okay,
problems,
Please do that.
right?
I'm into it.
How about we go right arm only and hit a shot? Watch this. Can I do one? Watch me do one. This is what I want you to do. I want you to stand here, touch your thigh, and I want you to go. Okay? But just let those angles go. Right arm only. Touch your left thigh. Touch your left thigh. Do it again. Are you touching your left thigh? You're not really listening very good. There you go. Right there. There you go. Touch your left thigh. 10-year-old. Just swing. Keep going. So we might have a drill where we're going to hit 10 good right arm only swings, and he's going to learn to get those angles out. Right arm only, just your 10. Get those angles out. Now already I can tell by his self-talk that he just beats himself up instead of self-coaches, right? So now keep going. So we're just trying to train a motor pattern. And then at some point I'm going to ask him what feels. Do you feel the angles get out? Let it fall. Now put your left hand on. Okay, Ben Hogan, you got it?
Yeah.
All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go 2 hands on. Oh,
I'm gonna relax.
he just said, I need to relax.
I'm
So
tense as hell.
on a
Yeah.
scale from 1 to 10, what's the grip pressure?
My grip pressure's been
No,
about.
right arm
now,
only.
the
Right arm only.
It's about a 4.
Be a 3 now. 2 hands. I want you to pretend you're right arm only. You got to be a 3 to get those angles out, right? Let it fall. We're getting there. And so I'd say, what's the solution of that? Less energy. How are we going to get that? Shorter, slower swing. But did you see the ball spin? Let the angles out. More, the dynamic loft increases. Rhythm improved. So on his foundational list, we go, number 1, you're a 3. You know what that is? It's like,
Loose as goose.
wow, I'm a 3. Number 2, I'm going to sit up with my nose in front of the ball. Number 3, instead of going inside, I got to go straight back. Now let's say you need feedback, right? Try it again. What if I set, you know what, a lot of times I'll prop an alignment stick in there that way. This would be even better, wouldn't it? Go ahead, set up. Don't move, don't hit it, just set up. That wouldn't be in the way, right?
Not too much.
I don't think that would be either. So what you're going to do is you're going to go here, relax, little fade, then you're going to let those angles come out and you're a 3, right?
Yeah.
All right, 2 hands, ready? Miss the bag, right hand feel. Now we're getting there. And all we're going to do is we're start building from a foundational standpoint. Fair enough? Yes, sir.
Okay, so awesome, by the way. That was super impressive. So now the pen is even with the pine tree way the hell back there where, I don't know, St. Andrew, you got a huge green. And he's going to hit like an 8 or a 7. Are you using the same release?
Same release, same technique. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a,
You can,
yeah.
you can still manipulate the face and
I can do anything I
fall
want.
down.
I can
Right,
hit that,
exactly.
but the reality is if I was going in the back bunker, I got an 8 iron. I mean, I hit that as far as I want, right? I just released that and it was low just because I did it with my club. I do like 5 minutes of technique checkup, make sure he's feeling good. Then we work on process the rest of the time and judging live. So we throw balls around the green, we do a lap. I saw Jamie doing the same thing at in New York. We just threw balls everywhere, going through all the different lies because there's poana mixed in, there's bluegrass, there's swirly. Okay, what happens if I get this ball teed up into the grain in the rough? What am I going to do? Literally, you're just trying things based on your experience, seeing what works, what doesn't work, so you have a plan for the week. You're going, hey, teed up into the grain, let's get that 56 and try and play that like a bunker shot, see how it comes out. Oh, and we try a couple other things, and you know what? You get that lie this week, that's a bunker shot. Right, but judging lies is, so 95% of what you know in life is what's called intrinsic knowledge. It's not stuff you read in a book. It's not stuff you heard from me or your coach or whatever. It's stuff you know and you don't even know how you know it. You know what I'm talking about? It's like I can just tell. I can just tell I need to land it right there, and then I can see it curving in. You got to learn to listen to that voice because it's way smarter than what your left side of your brain is trying to get you to do. You got to learn to listen to that intrinsic voice. How do you develop intrinsic knowledge? If I have 30 balls and I'm just doing one after the other, working on my technique, am I building that database of experiences which creates intrinsic knowledge? No, man, you got to throw balls everywhere. One of my favorite guys to watch practice is Podrick Harrington because he's like hitting them off the cart path over the hedge, trying to bank it off the tree, you know, just doing crazy stuff. He's having so much fun. And to me, I look at him, and a lot of people are like, what's he doing? What a weirdo. He's doing all this stuff. I'm thinking, there's a guy that's working hard, trying to bank that ball off that tree, trying to build his database, trying to hit it off the cart path. What do you do when you're a kid? Man, we get coached out of all the things we should be doing. You screw off, you have fun, you hit weird shots. John Rahm, you know, they would, I can't say this on, there's too many cameras.
I was way more.
Were you? So they had a bunch of buddies, and they go around and they play like the first one to get like 6 points up would win, and they call crazy shots. So you got to get your 4-iron and you got to flop it over the bunker, and closest is a point. And then if somebody got to 6 and some other kid was at 0, the kid at 0 had to pull his pants down, do a lap around the green while the other kids would smack him on his ass. That's pressure. He said you can't believe how many people were at 0 and the other guy's at 5, and they got to hit an amazing shot not to drop trowel, and then he's hit amazing shots. That's good practice. That's not what we do. We rake balls, we not mindful, not to pick on your members, Jamie, but I was over there this morning and I was trying to teach this to a young man, and I got this guy over here, just like, boom, and then he's going like this, and then he pulls another one, and then he's like, I was like, there's no growth there. There's no growth. He's not doing anything truly to affect change. He's just tinkering. And when it didn't work, he's pulling another one. No process. No, he's not walking in. He's not hitting a fade or a draw. He's doing this. And he's on the hamster wheel. You cannot be on the hamster wheel. It doesn't work. And here's a problem with coaching. There's a delicate little tightrope we need to walk as coaches. I need to affect change so this person can go better, but I got to keep them off the hamster wheel. So let's see, what am I going to do? Am I right? Because when you make a change, it's like opening, it's like getting the toothpaste out of the tube. You can't get it back in there sometimes. You got to be really careful what path you go down. And that's why good coaches don't say much. Usually, you know when we talked about that slide with learning? I catch them doing something good and I'll say, hey, what was that? Tell me about that shot. It's like the Socratic method of inquiry, right? You tell me. I'm not telling you. I'll nudge him, I'll push him, get him. I like that one. I like how that ball came out. What was that? Oh, I felt that in my right arm. I was like, okay. That's coaching. You ask questions, you don't tell, right? And the book I wrote, I called Your Short Game Solution, and the reason why I titled it that was because I caught myself literally probably 400 or 500 times a day going, okay, what's the solution for that? I want them to tell me, I don't want to tell them. That creates a mindfulness that is a requirement for positive self-coaching, which every player in their mental program needs to hit a shot and either go, yep, all day long, that's what I do, or they need to go, well, let's see. The ball went to the right, and when the ball goes to the right for me, I'm under. So next time I'm going to get that club out there. And then you're doing John Wooden's thing. You make a mistake, you learn from it, you allow it to help you, guide you for the next one. John Wooden was amazing. He said, I'll never yell at you for making a mistake. But if you make the same one twice, you're going to sit on the bench. I think that's fair, right? Okay, so I'm loving these questions. Let's get another one or two. Anything about life on the tour? Yes?
How about something about the Korean coaching model? The Korean women are doing really well.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I have a lot of experience with that model, and it's a dangerous model because there's no fallback plan in that culture. They're going to make it, or they're going to be in the kitchen cleaning dishes, and because they know that, they are all in, and the parents will do anything to support that, and it's not healthy. And some of the tour, especially the girls, which are so dominant, I've had one or two. I can't tell you this on air because it's too personal, but I will. I'll tell it after. But I had a girl that was 7th in the world started crying at dinner and told me she was quitting. So I go, "You're 7th in the world. You can't quit." "No, I'm done." Like 22 or 3 years old, right? You can't. It's not good. Now you can say, "Well, my God, they're kicking butt. They're beating everybody." They work hard. They're mindful. They pay attention to the details. They're all in. They're doing what it takes to be great. But there's a danger associated with that. As somebody, as a coach that wants to wrap my arms around them and make sure they're living a good life, I'm not so sure that's the right way. That's not a way I would teach. That's for sure. I say, I had a girl. She's playing at Stanford now. She's a heck of a player. Parents came to me. She's 10. And they go, "I want you to coach my 10-year-old. I go, 10 years old? I don't think so. Right, different state. It's going to be hard. And I don't think, she goes, no, you don't understand. She's all in. So the parents didn't play golf. They're Korean. And I said, okay, here's my conditions. 3 days a month, you got to take the clubs and you lock them in the closet. And you can't allow her to touch a club for 3 days. They go, oh no, she won't go for that. She won't do it. I said, well, those are my conditions. So that's what they did. Now I don't think they do it anymore, but because now she'll go to a movie, she'll have a date or whatever. Some of these, because the only friends they have are old, they're knowing their age, they don't do anything fun, and life on the road is tough. I don't like it. I think it's unhealthy. Now the good news is there's so many of them out there that now they have their little, that they can hang out together, which is good. But back 15 years ago, that wasn't the case. Any other questions? That's a great question. But you need to be a multi-sport athlete. You need to be at peace a little bit with yourself so you can have a clear mind. And you need to understand that it's okay to fail and that it's not okay to be embarrassed. So one of the cultural rules I have at my deal is like, okay, safe place. If you hit a bad shot, the gentleman that hit a bad shot, it's 100% my fault. You're under my direction. 100% my fault. It's never okay to hit a shot and be embarrassed at this golf facility. That's a rule. Right? Blame me. My fault. You go practice wrong, it's your fault. Okay?
Dude,
yes?
the other day in the Nine Bridges tournament, Justin Thomas had a shot on, it was on Saturday, like 14, 15. Pin was all the way back, raced up maybe just a couple elevations up from where he was at. He was just maybe a yard or two off the green.
I saw it. Took a lob wedge.
Lofted wedge. Was that poor technique or poor course management?
I think that's poor course management. Pretty tough for a coach that has a tough time breaking par these days to be judged, somebody that's that amazing. But I would suggest to you that a lot of people say, well, get the ball on the ground and run it up there. That's not always the right play. Because what if there's a tier and you're not sure how it's going to react? What if there's a patch of grain you want to make sure you fly it over so it doesn't get stuck in there? And what if you're amazing at hitting this lob shot? So Tom Pernice, he takes his lob wedge and he pops this thing up in the air from inside 40 yards. It's like this all the time. If I gave him an 8-iron, I bet he couldn't average inside 15 feet. It's pretty tough to say don't use your lob wedge. You play to your strength. But I'll say this, if you want to improve your 8-iron, what happens if you go over to that practice green and you do your lap around the green and you don't have your 8-iron with you? You're not going to develop the skill to be a good 8-iron player. So one of the practice rules I have is like, if I see you over there practicing, you got one club in your hand, by definition, you're not working hard because we're working on the second part of the skill acquisition. We're working on touch field judgment for, landing spots, clubs, and if you're not going to rep those other clubs, you'll never see them when the time comes. right? So he didn't see the shot, so he played the shot. He knew he could play under pressure, and it was probably the wrong shot. The other thing that I don't like about that is on the upslope. Remember I talked about steepening the angle of attack in the rough, right? When you get a bad lie in the rough or a downslope, well, occasionally you need to shallow the angle of attack. When would you shallow the angle of attack? Severe upslopes or balls teed way up. Give me 2 things you could do to shallow the delivery. Do one in your setup. Anybody? Yeah. If you're moving it back, steepens it, how would you shallow it? Move it forward. I'm on the upslope, ball comes forward. What could I do with my hand path or the plane to shallow it? Inside. So how about we get on the upslope, put a little forward, and just hit a little running draw. Fits the terrain. You're a shot maker, you have shots. I have a technique, a system of things I believe in. I'm probably the least technical guy, coach-wise, that I can't think of. I hate teaching technique. I love to teach how to focus. I like to teach how to train. I like to teach how to get your mind right, how to be resilient. But yeah, sometimes you got to go down the technique path, but I prefer not to.
James, thanks for coming out, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So tomorrow you're going to be out at Sherwood, spending some time with Tom.
And Duffy, yeah.
And I've gone out to that tournament right down the road from where I'm at. And I've gone out there and I look out in the range. And you look at all the guys hitting balls on the range. And you may see 1, maybe 2 guys using TrackMan. You go to PGA Tour event, every single stall has TrackMan.
Yeah.
All those guys got the iPods, iPads.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, obviously that's just the age we grew up in. The reality is, one of the reasons I fell in love with golf is because I could get away from everything. I was out there, I liked to play by myself. It was just so at peace, right? And I got a really smart, mindful daughter, 21, who wants to be a surgeon. She's in college doing great, but if I took her phone away for 5 minutes, she'd have a spasm. It's just the age they grew up on. They're this way, and that's why I love the slide Dr. Tim had like that, right? We're all gonna be walking around like that in a little bit year. But listen, the technology is not going away. Half the old guys don't have it because they never had it when they were amazing, and they're going, I didn't need it then, I don't need it now, right? The guys now, that's just they grow up with it. They see all the top players. They have Dustin Johnson sitting, working on his distance control with his wedges. Oh, if he's doing it, he's number one. I'm going to do it. It's just like part of the culture. It's like the ecosystem of the PGA Tour. Yeah. But as coaches, I'm going to say this: you better embrace technology because it's not getting less. But should your players know their numbers? No. No, they should know their feels. They should know that all they gotta do is fold my arm and turn my chest or whatever it is that they feel. You should know the numbers, so you should be able to quantify improvement. You should be able to get specific information about how the club's delivered and see what's happening to the ball. And I would never, that's why I don't have a sand putt lab. I teach putting to some of the best players in the world. I don't want them looking at that and going, I'm 1 degree this way and 2 degrees that way. It's okay for me, it's horrible for them, I think. I want to be focused on the task at hand. I want it to be simple. I want to be engaged with the target. And yet I got to go 2 degrees of this because that face is no good. Call me old school if you want. Old school cool though. That's a pink shirt.
Perfect. Thank you so much, James.
Okay,
It's such a
thank you.
pleasure to have you here. Obviously, it's great to
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Jamie up with a couple closing remarks.
Obviously, not if the best, one of the best in our business, and not only that too. We have a long relationship with seeing each other. We see each other a lot. I know he's also rooting for our guys. I'm rooting for your guys. He's a good man and among the best in our business. So thanks for being here. It means a lot that you came up.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
A couple thank yous, probably the most important thank you, but I want to start first of all with the lovely Charlene Dent today. She was fabulous. Charlene, congratulations, nice work. Our speakers, Simon James and Dr. Brown, and then this morning with Amy and John, and then yesterday with Sean and Eddie and Mark. They were all fabulous. They're kind of like those donuts that we had this morning. They were all different and delicious and better for you than those donuts, but they were all diverse in kind of the way that they were. But the most important thank you goes out to you all, because of who you are and what you do. And when you think about it, we're playing a game where we're all in love with it, and we're trying to be in love with it all the time. In love with it is when you're driving the golf course when you're a kid in the rain, or in love with it is when your player misses a cut, or in love with it is when this is happy camp shaking and the wind's blowing 40 miles an hour, you're trying to figure out what to do. And stuff like this makes you better. And thank you very much. We're doing a lot of thank yous to everybody that helped put this on, but more importantly, the biggest thank you goes to you as our peers. Thank you. And we're going to close this up in a manner that you thought you would think we might. I think really relevant with the times what we're going to do. I'd like to have everybody stand up and take your hat off. If you don't stand up and take your hat off, that's cool. It's your own opinion, whether you want to do that or not. Just don't come back to Virginia Country Club, okay? Thanks, everybody. Mr. Joe Horowitz.
Thank you guys. And gals, sorry. What a wonderful couple days. Glad you're all standing. Here you go. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet Thank you.